Good evening. Welcome to the Mifflin 2023 Mifflin County Farm Bureau primary election. Make sure the candidates night. We open with a pledge to the flag and a prayer. If anybody is offended by either of these, they may leave and come back after we start the actual program. So if you would please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most mighty and merciful God, we come together tonight thankful for what you have given us. We thank you for the rain, even though it seems like it's awful lot right now. We thank you that we live in a country where we have the ability to exercise the right to vote freely. We thank you for those candidates who are here tonight, who are willing to serve you and willing to step forward and answer questions. We just ask, Lord, you would be with them and help them as they answer the questions to the best of their ability and give us the direction we need when we are choosing candidates to vote for on May 16th. We ask all this in your precious name. Amen. Amen. None of our three auditor candidates were here for the briefing. I'm assuming they're not here. So we will start with the Magisterial District Judge, Craig Weston, who is cross-filed as a Republican and a Democrat both. Craig, he will have 2 minutes to address the audience.
All right, thank you. Thank the Farm Bureau for inviting me, and thank everyone for coming out. My name's Craig Weston. I'm running for Magisterial District Judge 58301. It's comprised of most of the Lewistown Borough other than the South Side, Granville Township, and Juniata Terrace. Born and raised here in Mifflin County, currently reside in Granville Township with my wife Leslie and my two daughters Morgan and Mallory. Graduated from Lewistown High School in 1994. After graduating, I attended Waynesburg University for a year and then transferred and received my associate's degree in criminal justice from Harrisburg Community College. After graduating from HAC, I was accepted into the 68th Municipal Police Officers Academy, and in 1998 was hired as a patrolman at the Granville Township Police Department. In 2008, I was promoted to Chief of Police, and that's currently the position that I hold. Working at Granville Township has enabled me to receive many trainings, certifications. I'm the pepper spray, taser, use of force, firearms instructor at the township, along with sit on various boards such as the Local Emergency Planning Commission, South Central Regional Task Force, and the Mifflin County Criminal Justice Advisory Board. I also am currently the varsity softball coach here at Mifflin County High School. I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately over the 25, almost 26 years of being a police officer, I've handled investigations from the most serious things such as homicides, DUI crashes, rapes, kidnappings, clean down to the less serious offenses such as traffic citations and ordinance violations. If you'd have told me 26 years ago that over the course of that time in Mifflin County I would handle the calls that we have, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but boy, how times have changed. I guess where I'll go next is, if elected, I just want, well, let me step back. I did receive my training through the approved by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania to be ready and certified to serve from day one, and I appreciate your vote on May 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Our next candidate is Chris Torquato, our current district attorney, who is running again for DA. He is unopposed on the Republican side, and he will have 2 minutes to address you.
Thank you to the Farm Bureau for continuing to host such an important event for community to come out and evaluate those running for office. Since 2016, I have served as your district attorney. Most people maybe don't hear what happens all the time in the district attorney's office. I'd like to treat tonight as a sort of a State of the Union kind of address for everybody here. Number one, we continue to list cases for trial for as many days as the court gives us for criminal trials. Since 2016, I've secured convictions for murder of the first degree, multiple third-degree murder cases, attempted murder cases, drug delivery resulting in death, homicide by vehicle while DUI, child sex cases, and many other offenses. Sentences imposed in these cases range from significant life in prison for the first degree to 25 to 50 years for sex offenders, and multiple 20 to 40 year sentences in those cases involving third degree murder and also attempted homicide. My office has seized and forfeited thousands of dollars, vehicles, property, and guns from those that have been involved in committing drug offenses here in the county. My office has not lost a single case that has been on appeal to higher courts. Our most recent case went all the way to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. It was argued by Assistant DA Jerry Wagner. It concerned the DUI law here in the Commonwealth. This case was watched by virtually every county within the Commonwealth, and it was won by the District Attorney's Office here. We have partnered with local law enforcement. We've established good working relationships with both state and local police officers. We've provided them with educational opportunities. We've partnered with local social service providers, multidisciplinary task force for child abuse and elder abuse. I would simply ask for the opportunity to continue to serve the citizens here in Mifflin County. For the Republicans, I am your Republican candidate. For those Democratic voters, I would ask for your write-in. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Our next two candidates are running for coroner. We have Andrea Alcalde and Michael Elder. Andrea will answer the first question first. Michael will answer the second question first. Could you please come up? Or 30 seconds for an introduction.
Hi, I'm Andrea Alcalde. I am a board-certified and nationally registered medical legal death investigator with over 10 years of experience in the field. I'm currently the acting coroner since the retirement of my predecessor, and I hope to continue serving as the county coroner for Mifflin County and its residents.
Good evening. My name is Michael Elder. I've spent my life in service to our country, our state, in the Mifflin County Roles as a paramedic here at Lewiston Hospital, paramedic with Geisler Life Flight. I was also Pennsylvania State Police Corporal, where I worked for 13 years in criminal investigation. I spent also 3 years as your Chief Deputy Coroner in the 90s.
First question, what medical training and experience have you had, and how do you see it influencing you as the next coroner?
So I have worked with hospice. I am a licensed nurse, and I am also a medical legal death investigator. That includes both the medical anatomical study of the human body, as well as taking care of all of my patients that I've had throughout the years. I've done numerous years of healthcare. I've done numerous years of hospital admissions, and I've worked closely with families of hospice patients. So I believe that that qualifies me to continue being the county coroner.
Medical training. I'm a veteran of the United States Coast Guard, where I served as a health services technician, providing medical care to military members and their families for nearly 6 years. I and in my military career as supervisor of emergency medical clinic there on Governor's Island in Governor's Island, New York. After separating from the service and honorable discharge, I attended paramedic training in northern Michigan and returned to Mifflin County, where I worked at Medic 29 as a paramedic providing pre-hospital critical care to patients in Mifflin County and Juniata County. I also worked as a flight paramedic with Geisler Life Flight in Danville, and once again I was Chief Deputy Coroner here previously in Mifflin County.
How about if you go ahead and finish up with your summation?
Summation here. The coroner's job is to investigate facts and circumstances surrounding sudden unusual deaths in order to determine cause and manner. And some of the other duties of the coroner is to identify deceased, take in custody of deceased, notify next of kin, and complete a death certificate. But there's a lot that goes along with that as far as having an extensive medical background. And as I had answered previously there, my previous medical training I think will lend well to the position as coroner, as well as my investigative background. Had extensive training and having been a criminal investigator with the Pennsylvania State Police for 13 years, I investigated a lot of deaths that come under the jurisdiction of the coroner's office. Those deaths include accidental deaths, homicides, suicides, deaths related to abuse and neglect, and sudden infant deaths. I have worked collaboratively over the course of my career through criminal investigation with state police, with the Pennsylvania Attorney General Office, ATF, FBI, and NTSB. Some of the other characteristics that I think are important to the coroner's office is having empathy and compassion. And having worked in the coroner's office previously for 3 years as a chief deputy coroner, I learned a lot in dealing with families and helping them through the grieving process. And in summary, it is my wish to utilize my medical investigatory and supervisory experience, as well as my care and compassion for others, to serve as coroner. As coroner, I would strengthen relationships with first responders and improve response times, and provide outstanding service to the residents and families of Mifflin County. I respectfully ask for your vote on May 16. Thank you.
So as I said before, I am a board certified and registered nationally medical legal death investigator. I'm the only one that has that qualification that's currently running for Mifflin County Coroner. I'm also the acting coroner, so I know the intricate details and the runnings of in and out of our office. I ask for your vote for this position because I have the experience, the qualifications, and the commitment to the community. I have years of experience in the medical field and a deep understanding of the responsibilities and challenges of the coroner's office. I'm uniquely fit for this role. My platform focuses on improving the accuracy and transparency of death investigations, promoting public health initiatives, and working with the community leaders to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. I'm committed to serving with integrity, compassion, professionalism, and I believe that with this dedication and the values will make a positive difference in the lives that I serve. I ask for your vote in the upcoming election, and I promise to work on behalf of our community as the county coroner. But this isn't about me, this isn't about my qualifications, and this isn't about my opponent's qualifications. This is about who can best serve the residents of Mifflin County in their time of need. And that is me.
Thank you, Andrea and Michael. If you could leave now, we will invite our, okay. Is Stephanie Lash up here yet? If not, we will ask Tammy Stuck to come up. You're here? Okay, well, you weren't at the briefing, so come up You're gonna be number 1, and Tammy will be number 2. These ladies will each have 30 seconds for an introduction, 1 minute per question. We've allowed time for 2-minute questions and a 2-minute summation. Start with Tammy.
Hi, my name's Stephanie Lash. I've been a paralegal for 24 years. I've been a resident of Mifflin County for 25. And I believe my experience as a paralegal has led me to be qualified to run for this office. I know most of the filing procedures and everything. Obviously, every county is different. But I'd like to prove to you that I can qualify if you vote for me on May 16th. Thank you.
Hi, I want to thank the Farm Bureau for hosting this evening's event and for the invitation to speak. I am Tammy Stock, and I am your current Prothonotary Clerk of Courts. I've been working in the office for 27 years. 12 of those years I have been your Prothonotary and Clerk of Courts. Since becoming Prothonotary, I have upheld the office with fidelity. There are always changes and new challenges. We are bound by the rules of civil, criminal procedures, rules of the Superior Court, the Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Courts, and our own Court of Common Pleas. We are unable to offer any type of legal advice. However, we help as much as we can. I am responsible to complete a yearly budget for the office, monthly reports to the state, distribution of collections of costs, fines, and restitution. And I have a staff of 3 deputies. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to change this up a little bit. We do not have any questions from the audience for you, so we are going to allow you each 2 minutes.
Okay, if I can finish. Okay. I have a staff of 3 deputies, Chris Cahagan, Polly Bonson, and Sue Hummel. And there are many aspects of the office. Unfortunately, my time doesn't allow to go into detail. But I do want to thank you for voting for me on May 16th and for giving me the privilege to serve Mifflin County for another 4 years. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to also add that I've done civil litigation, I've done a few criminal matters, I'm currently doing a state administration. I work from beginning to end on a file. I've actually done it's led me to do some managerial positions while I don't, and I do some budgeting as far as doing trust accounts, writing checks. And like I said, I wanted to run for Prothonotary since the early 2000s, but unfortunately with a young family, a political position is really not stable for income at that time. I'm in a position where I'm able to do it now, and I think that and waiting for so long, the 24 years experience has led me to be more qualified for this position. Again, I ask for your vote so I can prove to you that I'm qualified to do this job on May 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. You may return to the audience. At this time, we will ask the 4 Republican County Commissioner candidates to come up. Noah Wise, Rob Grassmeyer, Rob Postal, and Dawn Lawrence. While they are coming up, I will announce that Commissioner Kodish did call me this week. He had a complete knee replacement. Things are not going as well as he had hoped. That's why he is not here tonight. So that's just where we're at this point. So we have 4 here. We've allowed time for the 4 questions. Once again, it's half-minute introduction, minute per question, and 2-minute summation. So,
We need his chair, Grassmeyer's chair. Oh, go. Your chair's coming.
he says he's good. Okay. So we will start with Noah Wise, then Rob Grassmeyer, Rob Postal, and Dawn Lawrence.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Noah Wise. I am running for Mifflin County Commissioner. A little bit about myself. I live in Burnham. I work for Burnham Borough at this point. I have 2 kids, 2 grandkids, and my departed wife, Lisa, who's still with us and always will be with us. I will be running on common sense for Mifflin County, which I pretty much, my whole life, I'm a Christian. I attend New Life Church. I'm also a member of the Dream Center that's coming up. I base all my thoughts basically through my Christian faith and common sense, which the good Lord has given me. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending. My name is Rob Grassmeyer. I was born and raised in Mifflin County, mostly in Baytown. Upon graduation in 1980, I joined the U.S. Navy. I served from 1980 to 1988. Returning back home, I farmed and worked at the Standard Steel. I left the Standard Steel, obtained a job with the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections, retired in 2010 to rank of lieutenant. When I left farming, I also started a excavating business in 1997, selling that in 2012.
Good evening, I'm Robert Postal. Thank you all for coming tonight. I live in Derry Township and have been married 49 years to Valerie and have 3 children, all educated through Mifflin County Public Schools through kindergarten. And they're all out in the world, hopefully doing good things. I have an advanced degree in economics from Penn State and spent 35 years in the economic development field before my second career as your county commissioner for the last 6 years. I focus every day on managing the county in the best interests of Mifflin County taxpayers. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Donald Mortz II. For the past 18 years, I've been Derry Township Supervisor. In that role, I've served on numerous committees, some of the roles including Vice Chairman of the FAME EMS Board of Directors for 18 years. I was also on the Solid Waste Authority and the Derry Township Agricultural Security Board. I've been a lifelong resident of Mifflin County all my life, and on May 16th, I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
First question. If elected as commissioner, what is your plans for holding taxes in line as well as creating a positive environment for jobs?
Okay. First of all, I'm going to run on common sense. Never have I ever raised taxes. I currently sit on the Mifflin County School Board. Never raised taxes. I'm a person, you need to look in-house before you try to tax Mifflin County residents. Mifflin County is not a wealthy county, so you have to look within before you look without for tax purposes. Job opportunity, I think we can do better. I think, again, we're a poor county. Wages could be a lot better. Some wages were held down. Also, grant availability. There are some grants that we do receive. One thing that sticks in my craw is when the taxpayers get their money back from any grant, that money should be distributed through boroughs and townships the same way they got it. County commissioners should not be a bank and ask for that money back through any township or borough.
Yeah, folks, I decided to get involved with county politics, specifically dealing with this question, how are we going to keep taxes in line? We can't keep taxes in line when we do spending of tax dollars needlessly. All right, so I'm conservative. I understand we need federal, state, local tax dollars to run the county. I got involved over what happened at the Annex building. It was wrong, it was wasteful spending. That building was purchased to be housing for county jail inmates. That's number one. Number two, money was spent to upgrade that to a female jail. The following year, most of it was ripped back out, tax money was spent to turn it into office space. Bigger government, all right? I am against big government. This is why I got involved. You want to hold your taxes down? We need to spend money wisely, number one. When these progressives say they're coming for your homes, they're not lying. They haven't added on to the taxes. They put the tax money onto the debt.
I think that Mifflin County was one of the few counties that actually lowered its millage when I became commissioner. And it wasn't only me, it was my other partners at the time. We have kept taxes stable, and Mifflin County is fiscally secure. We have saved over $1 million of taxes in this current budget. I'll get into that when I have a little more time later. But as far as creating jobs, I think that the county government doesn't create jobs. Government doesn't create jobs. We have to set the tone so the private sector creates the jobs. I've been on the other side. I've put packages together for First Quality, Managed, Terrace, and all those companies that maybe some of you already work for. They look for a stable government and stable taxes, not necessarily the lowest taxes, but it's stable and predictable taxes, so they know what they're going to get into and they can project their investment and return on investment. So yes, it's very important. We will partner with the private sector. We will partner with those that are out there making these jobs, but it's not the government's job to make the taxes. Thank you.
I'm definitely not in favor of raising taxes. I'm definitely holding the line on taxes in the county. The Mifflin County residents pay way too much taxes now. I pay taxes, and every year I say I'm sick of paying taxes. We need to find other ways of making money for the county and holding a line on the taxes.
Next question. If elected as commissioner, are you in favor of instructing the 911 center to use proximity dispatching for local fire companies?
Well, I'm not up to date with what proximity means, but if you're referring to GPS, whatever that is, of course, anything with 911 center needs to be upgraded. It needs to be continually upgraded.
I think that we just upgraded our 911 center. I think it's really open for inspection. If anybody wants to come down, I'll take you down. It has been, it's the latest and greatest technology. As far as reporting and issuing calls, there's a protocol that we need to go through. And I believe that protocol does look at the proximity and the availability of who is available and who is available for then backup. So I don't know the details of that, but I know there's a protocol that we follow, and if there's a problem, give me a call. We'll go down and talk to Phil Lucas, our director, and see that it's remedied.
I'm definitely in favor of the 911 system, and the protocol that he talked about definitely has to be in line. But I'm in favor of having calls by the firemen, by 911, definitely, because our safety in Mifflin County is more important to me than anything.
Okay, I'm definitely in favor of that too. The fire apparatus in Mifflin County, it's all volunteer system, most of it. I think we have one or two now that are leaning towards paid firefighters. Back in the day, I'm a lifetime member of Burnham Firehouse. It was the call box. Who's available, who isn't available, because basically it's all volunteer at this point. It's very crucial, I mean, for the safety of this county, so whatever upgrades, whatever to keep up with the 911 center is crucial with the fire departments.
Given the pandemic experience that we have experienced in the last 3 years, if elected, would you try to force the closure again, or would you take the money and force the community to close?
The commissioners haven't forced the community to close. When we took the COVID money from various programs that were offered to all of the counties and municipalities, there were strings attached to that. And some of those strings were from the governor or from the president. We had a choice. We either could accept that money and distribute it, and some of you may have already gotten some of that money, to the fire companies, to some of the hotels and restaurants, or not. And we kept some for county projects. We distributed most of it. So who gets hurt if we don't follow the emergency conditions that were tied to that COVID? It's the people, it's mostly the small businesses out there. So we took it, we distributed it. I think people were grateful for it. I'm glad we got through it. But no, I'd take it again, but it depends obviously on what the conditions are. So I think all the people that got that appreciated it.
I'm definitely not in favor of the closures. It hurt a lot of businesses in this county. And the only problem was it was mandated by the governor. So the county commissioners' hands were tied. They had no choice but to mandate what they did. And I definitely wasn't in favor of the closure.
Closures were a mistake. Through that period of time, a lot of mistakes were made. Through the schools, through businesses, it was a horrible time. And we're still suffering to this day from that, the mistakes that were made. Mandates are not a law. I mean, they'll threaten you, we're gonna hold your money if you don't do what we say. It's totally wrong. This county should have thrived a lot better through that. And again, it was a mistake with COVID in Mifflin County.
Definitely against it. I agree with Doug Mastriano. We're free people, live as free people. A lot of people die for this Constitution. We need to defend it at all costs. That includes on a local level. When you look at this CARES Act distribution, look to see who got the lion's share of the money. It's always the same people. That's my answer.
Fourth and final question. Should the voters of Mifflin County want the electronic voting machines gone, are you willing to allow hand counting of paper ballots like is done before the machines? I think the question would be, are you in favor of getting rid of the electronic voting machines and going back to the handwritten ballots and being counted individually?
If the residents of Mifflin County want that, I agree with them. I'm willing to hand count the ballots myself. I mean, it's more correct to do that way because then you got a good count.
Yeah, transparency is a big thing when it comes to that. The voters should have a choice on what we do, and a lot of the other things that we're talking about here. Transparency, the voters need to put that on a ballot or whatever and how they want it. But personally, the size of Mifflin County, to me, townships and boroughs and stuff, hand ballots, written ballots are the best. and the most secure.
Most definitely for the ballots, get rid of these machines that Wolf mandated us to put in 2018. I knew right then that there was going to be some questions about the election. So yeah, I'm all for going back to the system prior to this one.
We do have paper ballots. Every one of us fill out a paper ballot. We use the machine just like you use a calculator when you're making addition. It's a calculator. It's not connected to any internet. It's inspected publicly. I think it was in the newspaper that we have scheduled an inspection of those machines. Counting paper ballots by hand adds to the inaccuracy, just like when you're doing arithmetic by hand and not using a calculator. So no, we're not going to get rid of the voting machines. We have a paper ballot, and we can go back and audit those paper ballots if there's a problem. The machine simply is used as a calculator.
I've always wanted to be involved in government. As a supervisor at Derry Township, I now have the experience of running the township. I am ready and eager to run the county. If elected, I hope to reduce budgetary expenses and lower taxes. I would also strive to bring new industry to the county. My door will always be open for anybody that wants to come and talk to me about current situations or anything. If I can help anybody out, I will. After graduating from Lewistown campus, Penn Highlands High School, I attended Georgetown College in Kentucky from 73 to 77. I worked for the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission from 83 to 2000 as a deputy. I've been at Standard Steel for almost 25 years, retiring 2 years ago this June. I also served at the county as a T-ball and Little League coach for 17 years and a PAAA softball umpire for 33 years. I've been married to Deb Frankhauser for 44 years and have 3 grown children, Danielle, Lucas, Deisha Lawrence, and Devin Lawrence. I also have 2 grandchildren, Connor and Kensley Lucas. And I will do my best to be your county commissioner. So I appreciate your vote on May 16th. Thank you.
Thank you to the Farm Bureau for organizing this event, and thank you to the voters in the audience here tonight. You know, throughout my former career in business, financing, and development, and my current career as your commissioner, I followed some basic economic principles learned long ago at Penn State. Whether packaging the financing for First Quality, Manage, and many other small and large companies in Mifflin County, I recognize that every business has assets and liabilities. And just as any business, the county has assets, liabilities, and shareholders. And those shareholders are you, the taxpayers. But there is one big difference. In the private sector, the CEO spends his money. In government, as executives of the county, commissioners spend your money. And commissioners need to focus every day on how to more efficiently and effectively carry out county government with no personal agendas involved. And how well have we done that? Well, for example, in 2023 budget, which has been on display since November, we saved $1 million in taxes by consolidating operations, terminating leases, and updating job descriptions. And $1 million in Mifflin County is $925,000. Let me say that again. We saved for all of us, the taxpayers, $1 million of taxes by following basic business principles and investing in our assets and getting rid of those liabilities. And Mifflin County is financially stable and fiscally sound. You know, some say they're not going to increase taxes. That's pretty easy to say. I'm telling you why we don't have to increase taxes. So I ask for your support on May 16th. I really look forward to the future opportunities as your county commissioner. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Folks, the bottom line is this. We're in trouble. We're in trouble as a nation, we're in trouble as a state, and we are in trouble as a county. You can say you're saving as taxpayers all kinds of money. The proof is in the pudding. The closing of the annex building was wasted money. I don't know exactly how much because I'm not privy to that information. It was wasted money there. Grant money. This grant money goes on to the national debt. That's why your taxes aren't going up. All right? That's number one. Number two, what's coming is in the Bible. Mark chapter 13, Christ tells us two things, two very important things. Number one is, I have foretold you all things. The second thing he tells us is, learn the parable of the fig tree. When you study the parable of the fig tree, you know this is the generation right here. You want to know how bad inflation is going to get? You read chapter 6 of the book of Revelation, verse 6. That tells you where it's going, where this is going. And that is, God said, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny. You know what that means? That means a loaf of bread is going to cost a day's wage for a man. 3 loaves of barley is going to be a day's wage for a man. That's where this inflation is going. God's already told us. We need to get prepared. There are things that need addressed in this county, not just Mifflin County Correctional Facility. You have a problem brewing right now at your sewer plant, your digester unit. You need work done on that. You got 2 small units that are running. Right now they're keeping up. I had a meeting 2 weeks ago with the engineers about this project. The money isn't being kicked loose because your county commissioners want to be bankers. Now I understand some things need to be financed and some things can be given. This is a problem where you need to come up with $150,000 and start addressing this problem because the engineers themselves told me just the engineering part is going to be 6 to 9 months.
Again, Mifflin County is not a wealthy county. We are always, in the last 5 years that I have checked, always 1, 2, or 3 poorest counties in the state. We could thrive a lot better. Like I said before, Mr. Rasmussen, county commissioners should not be a bank. Whatever funds, it's all taxpayers' money. When we get a grant back, that's taxpayers' money. It's not like, oh, hey, we just got free money. We already paid for it. So distributing that money throughout townships and boroughs for whatever reason, I feel strongly that that money should not be paid back to the county commissioners. The county commissioners are not a bank. We could thrive better in other areas. Mr. Grassmeyer, I'm a Christian myself, not just county, state, and federal. We're in trouble. We're in trouble, and we got to stick together in this county and thrive the best we can and help each other. And we need the right people in those positions. Common sense. You can have any college degree you want nowadays. Common sense rides over any college degree you can get nowadays. And that's what I'll be bringing to the table. Thank you.
We'd like to thank these 4 candidates. As they exit the stage, we're asking our 3 judicial candidates for the court of common pleas to come up if they would. First would be Jeff Davis, second would be Jonathan Reed, and third would be Jerry Wagner. Will have 30 seconds to introduce themselves, 1 minute per question for answer, 2 minute summation time, and there will be 3 questions so they can each answer one first.
I'm Jeff Davis. I was born and raised in Mifflin County. I've raised my kids here. When my friends went off to college to try to get out of Mifflin County, I went to get an education and come back and serve my community. In my 27 years in the Mifflin County court system as a probation officer, prosecutor, public defender, and private practice attorney, I've done that. I'm seeking election as your next common pleas judge to complete a goal and dream of mine to further serve the community in an even greater capacity, and I thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight.
Jonathan Reed, good evening, and thank you to the Farm Bureau and those who have taken an interest in our municipal election. I'm an attorney and lifelong resident of Mifflin County. I've been serving our community as a magisterial district judge for over 7 years. As the only candidate with judicial experience, common pleas court is a logical step for me to take. I've worked diligently to fulfill my judicial responsibilities as a magisterial district judge and look forward to the opportunity to do the same as your next common pleas judge.
My name is Jerry Wagner. I'm running obviously for the Court of Common Pleas judge in Mifflin County. What I bring to the table in this race is a 32-year private sector business experience coupled with a 25-year legal background. But it's not about me. The other candidates will say it's their logical step or something they've always wanted to do, but it's about you, the voter, and how you will benefit from a lifetime of common sense decision-making from the bench. Thank you.
First question. Other than criminal law areas, what experience do you have to be qualified as a judge?
Well, I have practiced not only in both sides of criminal law as a prosecutor and as a criminal defense attorney. I have practiced for over 10 years in every area of the law over which a common pleas judge presides. I've represented people in custody matters, divorces, estate planning and administration, municipal court matters, civil litigation, orphans court matters, everything that the current common pleas judges preside over. I have practiced for over 10 years in all those areas. I have worked diligently in all of my cases to get my clients the results that they desire and need. I think I've done a good job at that, and it prepares me to take the bench and make decisions in all those areas of the law from day one.
Jonathan Reed. I'm uniquely qualified for the position of common pleas judge as I'm the only candidate with judicial experience. As a magisterial district judge, I've presided over thousands of cases involving the same area of law over which a common pleas judge would preside. After being elected, or before being elected as a judge, I served in the Mifflin County Court of Common Pleas as a judicial law clerk, over which common pleas judge presides. I was also appointed as a mental health hearing review officer and a custody conciliator. Since being elected as a magisterial district judge, the Common Pleas Court has entrusted me to preside over the juvenile and adult treatment courts. In effect, I've already presided over the common pleas level matters. Ultimately, a trial judge needs a judicial temperament. He or she needs to be respected and in control of the courtroom. I believe I've developed those skills over the years serving as a magisterial district judge.
In addition to being the assistant district attorney for the last 8 years, I've also been the solicitor for the domestic relation office. That's handling all matters of support, both child and spousal support. But in addition to that, I've also had a business practice that involved contracts, collections, a myriad of compliance issues with Environmental Protection Agency, the Internal Revenue Service, Department of Revenue, and so forth. As well as, as part of my duties with the District Attorney's Office, I served on the Juvenile Drug Treatment Court. So my practice actually spans many disciplines, just not criminal, but it's that lifetime experience across all those venues that would make me qualified to be able to start the role of a common pleas judge immediately from day one.
Describe your experience in the two most frequent areas covered by a common pleas judge.
Could you repeat the question at the beginning?
Describe your experience in the two most frequent areas covered by a common pleas judge.
My experience serving as a magisterial district judge involves presiding over criminal and civil matters. Both of those matters are presided over by a common pleas judge. I've disposed of over 16,500 cases. During that same time, since taking office, I've collected almost $2.5 million through our court office. My experience as a judge makes me uniquely qualified for the position, and I just appreciate your interest and for giving me the opportunity.
Actually, according to the most latest AOP statistics, the two biggest areas that the Court of Common Pleas judge presides over, number one is criminal, and the second one is domestic relations. Those two areas that I do cover. So that's a perfect fit for that. The Common Pleas judge also covers matters of custody and support, but those are areas that are basically, while not legally principled, a lot of those are common sense decisions. Raising 5 kids, I'll go toe to toe with anybody who wants to take me on what the best interest of the child is. So again, you have two different facets. You have the legal experience, which is the criminal, and the domestic relations aspect. But a lot of it's the common sense approach in the matters of family law with divorce and custody.
According to our 2 current common pleas judges, who have both told me this directly, the vast majority of the time they spend in court is on criminal matters and family law matters being custody specifically and divorce. I have spent the last 10 years practicing in custody on a regular basis, representing parents, representing spouses in divorce matters on a regular basis. I have been a prosecutor for a few years, prosecuting crimes. I have been a criminal defense attorney, both as a public defender and as a private practice criminal attorney. I am the only candidate who has experience in custody, divorce, and both sides of the criminal law, and the kind of experience that prepares me to render judgment, having stood with people and helped them through judgment and prosecuted them that they would receive judgment. I think that makes me uniquely qualified to be the next judge.
Final question. What would you request from the president judge on your very first meeting regarding areas of court you would like to cover?
Well, I think that that's going to be largely determined about the docket and what we're looking at as far as the improvements that we need to make. And again, this goes back to a common sense, real life decision. If you're in the private sector, you're going to get the job done no matter what it is. So you're going to look at your needs, you're going to assess them, and if it's an increased docket, say for criminal court, you're going to want more trial days for every criminal term. So that's where you make the adjustment. You're just not going to do a one size fits all, or it's not going to be the status quo. And that's the thing. When you're hiring or electing from within, you're just going to get the same thing. If you want to have change, if you want to innovate, you're going to have to assess the needs and you're going to have to make those requests. So again, it depends on the docket, it depends on the caseload, and it depends on what resources are available at our level that we would be able to effectuate that. But at all costs, get the job done.
Well, I would be prepared to do anything that the president judge would assign me from day one because I have practiced in all the areas of the law over which the judges preside. Common sense is great. It's useful in every decision that you make in every area of life. I believe we all three have that as people who have lived in real life and made real life decisions. But there are also volumes and volumes of law that govern how the decisions are made. I'm the only candidate that has experience in every one of those areas of the law, that's spent every day going through the statutes, applying the statutes, helping my clients get the decisions they need based upon the statutes and the facts. As a common pleas judge, I think I would do that from day one. I would take the facts presented to me, apply the law to them, the law that I'm very well versed in, and I would be able to make tough, fair, honest decisions.
As far as the common pleas court goes, I believe it's well run and administered. But there are 3 points that I would like to make. First, I don't think the entire system is bad or needs overhauling. Notwithstanding the news reports, it's still the best criminal justice system in the world. Second, I don't think that the system, I don't think it's the system that is broken. I think it is our culture. We've lost the family and moral values that keep kids out of the system. As a juvenile probation officer, I went into homes that broke my heart. It's no wonder we have high crime and rampant recidivism. So many of our children have never known a stable home. So the criminal justice system does not make criminals. But thirdly, a trial judge can make progress. It requires hard work and wisdom. As a trial judge, I'll attempt to ensure the safety of the community and protect the victim before putting the criminal back into society. There's a place for rehabilitation and education, but not at the expense of the community.
This race is a choice between 3 very different candidates. On the one hand, you have a district magistrate that, if elected, will be the first judge in Mifflin County history to have never practiced law in the court of which he would preside over. The other candidate, claims that he has practiced in all areas of the law that the Court of Common Pleas, resides over. But unfortunately, it doesn't attach any numbers to that. The reality is, on a caseload basis, I'm involved with 65% of everything that the Court of Common Pleas handles. There's also a claim that there's only one candidate who's ever represented a client in court. As a prosecutor, I not only represent the police, I represent the victim, and I represent the community in whole. But as a solicitor for domestic relations and a Title IV attorney, I, on numerous occasions and repeatedly, represent civil plaintiffs, not only in the Court of Common Pleas, but in the Superior Court. In fact, I've actually won a precedential decision as it relates to income and child support and death benefits. So that's not true. What is true in this case is that I'm the only candidate that brings 25 years of criminal, civil, business, and appellate experience, coupled with 32 years of real life, private sector, common sense decision making. And the bottom line is that I'm one of you. I've lived in this community, I work in this community, I own a home and pay property taxes in this community, I've educated my kids in this community, and like most of you, like some of you, I have held down 2 jobs in this community. And as your public servant, I want you to benefit from my life experience, both in and out of the courtroom, by keeping you safe, by saving you money, and protecting your constitutional rights. Thank you.
With regard to my experience, what distinguishes me from the other candidates is that I'm the only one on this stage that is currently a judge. I'm the only one on this stage that's presided over a trial, made a ruling on evidence, maintained courtroom decorum, or written court opinions or orders. So, as I said earlier, I believe that my over 7 years of judicial experience will be a tremendous benefit to me. This is something that I'm passionate about, and it's a logical step for me to take. I just close in saying that since mid-February, I've knocked on almost 2,000 doors, and I've met hundreds of warm and caring people that share my concern that we're fast forfeiting the family and moral values that have made this a great nation. Respect for the rule of law and Constitution is disappearing. Now, I want to be candid and honest with you. I know that I cannot change all of this myself, but I have the passion to try. So with your help, I will do my part to restore respect for those values and the rule of law. I will appreciate your vote on May 16th.
My theme for this campaign has been experience matters. And I've said numerous times in numerous forums, it's not just about experience. It's about the right experience. When my oldest daughter was a kid, she played youth basketball at the YMCA, and I coached her team. So the fact is I have experience as a basketball coach, but I haven't gotten any calls from the Philadelphia 76ers to go coach their team. A claim of judicial experience, while true, is not judicial experience on all of the areas of the law that the common pleas judges preside over every day. I'm the only candidate with experience in every one of those areas of the law. A claim of courtroom results by numbers isn't an accurate assessment of courtroom results. I can't put a number to the family who I helped through an adoption with the parents that I helped get custody of a child to keep them away from another abusive spouse. From representing somebody in a criminal case where they were wrongly accused and I was able to get them a not guilty verdict. Or from prosecuting someone and helping a victim get justice. I've done all that. I'm the only candidate that's done all that. Every common pleas judge that Mifflin County has elected for nearly 100 years has begun their career in a private practice law office. There's a reason for that. All of this experience that I speak of, helping people through judgment, representing actual people in actual court cases, not agencies, but actual people, gives me the experience necessary to take the bench and render judgment appropriately in a tough, fair, and knowledgeable manner from day one. I understand all the areas of the law. I'm ready to do it from day one, and I ask that you vote for me on May 16th to be your next common pleas judge. Thanks.
Thank you to the three candidates for the judge of common pleas. As they exit the stage, would the members running for the Mifflin County School Board come up? We had 8 here when we briefed. I don't know if our 9th one came. First, we have Noah Wise. We have an opening in number 2 position. Terry Stires is number 3. Paula Dixon's number 4. Fred Nickel is number 5. Danica Laub is number 6. Lori Keynes is 7. Number 8 is Diane Shear. Number 9 is Rose Schultz. So as you come up, I ask you to take your seats. And once again, it's going to be a 30-second introduction, 1 minute per question, 2-minute summation. Because of time constraints, we've allowed time for 3 questions at this point. Number 1.
Good evening again, everyone. Is that on? Okay. My name is Noah Wise. Running for Mifflin County School Board again, too. little bit about myself again. I live in Burnham, work for Burnham Borough. Family man, I attend New Life Church. A board member of the Dream Center, which is coming up soon. Great program we're going to have there. And again, I'll be running for County School Board on common sense and honesty. Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Terry Stiers. I've been a resident of Mifflin County since 1988. That's 35 years. I retired in 2014 after serving in public education for 40 years, 17 years as a teacher and a coach, 23 years as a principal in 4 different school districts in the state of South Carolina and Pennsylvania. And I've been a member of the school board for the past 8 years.
Good evening. My name is Paula Dixon. I am a mother of 3 children in the school in Mifflin County School District, and I am running for school board. I'm married. My husband is Nick, and we live in Strodes Mills. We attend the Way Bible Church. I'm asking for your vote. I will be on the Republican ballot only. I decided not to cross file. I want to be on the Republican ballot.
Hello, my name is Fred Nickel. I've been here in Mifflin County since '68. I graduated from Chief Logan High School and also the Juniata Mifflin Vocational Area School. I also am married to a wonderful wife of 42 years, and I'm looking forward to being re-elected. I am sitting on the board as of now and acting president. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Donica Laub, and I am a single mother to a 7th grader in the district. And my family moved here in 1991 when I was in 7th grade. I'm a 97 graduate of Indian Valley High School. So I have lived in the area on and off for over 30 years. I'm a 2001 graduate of Penn State, and I currently live on a 5th generation family farm. So thank you to the Farm Bureau for having us here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lori Haynes, and I am running for school director on the Republican ballot. I'm running for all the right reasons. I'm running for the teachers, the students, our community. I believe in public education, and I think that what we do today will lead us into tomorrow. We educate our students so they can meet life's challenges, and that's what I endeavor to do if you will elect me to the position of school director. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diane Shear. I moved here in 1982. My husband's been a lifelong resident of Mifflin County, and we've raised our 5 children here. They've all graduated from Mifflin County School District and are doing very well. I was also a teacher in Mifflin County for 39 years, along with doing many other things within the schools, and I served as the Association of Mifflin County President Association of Mifflin County Educators as the president for many, many years.
Good evening, my name is Rose Schultz. Born and raised in the Bronx, but I've been in Mifflin County for the past decade. I'm running for school board. I have a vested interest. My daughter is a student in the district and has been since 1st grade. I believe in a quality education, and that's what I'm going to be working toward creating for our district and improving in our district. Thank you.
First question. What would the most important areas of improvement for our school district you would like to see, and what would you do to make those improvements?
First of all, improvements are pretty crucial for Mifflin County School District. Probably one of the first things I would do for improvement is not taxing the tax base of Mifflin County. I've been 8 years at school board. Not once have I ever voted to raise taxes. That's pretty crucial in a poor county. We're looking at some other options. There's always options open, whatever money we get from the state. We have all kinds of concerns. Money definitely is a factor. We're running a budget of approximately $95, $96 million. That is a lot for this county. and we kind of look at all areas to improve.
Would you repeat that, please?
What would the most important areas of improvement for our school district you would like to see, and what would you do to make those improvements?
Well, first and foremost, we need to continue to make serious efforts in keeping our children safe. That's an ongoing endeavor. It's on the front page in the news every day, and we've got to be diligent in moving forward with that. And that's about an attitude of being proactive. I think we currently have that, and I want to make sure that we maintain that. Secondly, we've got a serious teacher shortage, not only in Mifflin County, but throughout our nation. In order to get quality teachers to come into Mifflin County, we want our community to be as appealing as possible. We want to hire the best, nurture them, and make them feel appreciated, and make them want Mifflin County to be their home. We also have a substitute shortage and a bus driver shortage. The same thing applies in those areas. Those people need to feel appreciated, and they need to be valued. And the way you do that is you develop relationships and nurture those relationships.
I agree with all of those things. We do need to work on getting teachers here. The teachers are feeling stressed right now. I have teachers in my family, I have teachers that are friends, and they're stressed, they're overworked, and we need to figure out a way to get more teachers here. At this point, I'm not really sure how to do that because they don't really want to come out of college and go into teaching anymore because of the strict restrictions that are put on them after talking to them. A lot of them don't want to do it. Also, safety is a big issue. We need to figure out better ways to keep our children safe. But another one is getting them a better quality education because we're failing our children. Our children are not able to read as well. They're not spelling, and a lot of them we're finding it's not really that big of a deal. We have a grading system from K through 5. That's
Okay, safety is a big thing. We need to make sure our kids are safe. We've got to make sure that they feel safe when they come to school and when they leave. Busing is an issue, teachers are an issue, there's no question about it. We have to work hard to take care of that. But educational opportunities, we have to give more opportunities in education. We're lacking in languages, we're lacking in probably some of the AP courses because maybe we don't have the teachers, we can't get the teachers. But not only in the academic side, but we also have to strive to give educational opportunities in the vocational end of it too. We have a lot of kids out here that are hands-on learners. I've been involved at the vocational school. I taught there for 10 years. And education is big. It's not all academic, it's also vocational. And I think we need to strive to give all the opportunities that we possibly can create and give to our kids. Thank you.
I agree with a lot of candidates up here. I obviously also agree that there's some education hurdles we need to cross, but if elected to the board, one of the first things I would address and work towards improving would be more parental involvement. I'm friends with teachers, I've spoken with teachers, I've spoken with a lot of parents, and also just through my own experience in other school districts. My daughter went to school in another school district before we moved here, and there was a vast difference in the parental involvement. I think parents should be allowed to be in schools, even if it's coming to eat lunch with their child, read a book to a class. I think the more you get a parent involved and show that education's important, the better off every child is going to be when they go to school. They're going to be more prepared to be in school. They're going to value education and respect their teachers. I would also argue that, yes, there's a teacher shortage, but we need to make teaching more attractive to teachers, more PTO time, and more support for the teachers in the schools.
Again, Lori Haynes and I agree with a lot of what's been said. I think we all have similar ideas and goals. My top objectives, if I were elected to the school board, would be the students. I believe that the students come first. The teachers and the curriculum that we are teaching to our students, and also the budget. I have a background in accounting, I have a business administration degree, and I think I could bring those skills to the table as I work with the current board members and all those that will be elected or re-elected. I think that there's more help needed in the classroom, at the elementary level, more training, ongoing for new teachers. Again, advanced placement classes that were mentioned, extracurricular activities, whether it's in school or within the community. I think that's important as well. So, thank you.
Hi, Diane Shearer. I could waste my entire time talking about what teachers need, since I've represented them for over 12 years. So I know what teachers need. I was a teacher for 39 years. And that is one thing that I would work on. But safety is a major concern of mine in the schools. I've been around with different resource officers and policemen that came in and talked about safety in schools, and I've witnessed it myself. I believe in high quality education, and one thing I really think we need to do is change the narrative of Mifflin County School District. Yes, we have struggling kids. We have a high percentage of students with special needs, which does hurt our testing scores. But we also have a vast majority of very well-educated kids who go on to either colleges or technical schools and do very well. And the public needs to know how well our kids, we have kids back there working right now, and they are some of our brightest and best. We need them to come back to Mifflin County and work and have their lives here. Thank you.
Rose Schultz. One area for me is safety. For those that don't know, currently we have our junior high students walking back and forth to the high school. Those are our higher level students with no line of sight or supervision. I think that's unacceptable. So I would like to put a plan in place so we can make sure those kids do get back and forth safely every day and that they're accounted for. Also, we're a Title I district, which means we get federal funds to help assist in reading and math. It's only being used through K through 3, and for 10 years, I've been hearing from current school board members that we have 8th graders reading at the 6th grade level. That is unacceptable. So I'd like to work closer with our Title I administrator and find ways to maybe spread out those funds so we don't have students in 8th grade reading at 6th grade level or 6th grade reading at 3rd grade level. Thank you.
Next question. What is your understanding of critical race theory and/or diversity, equity, and inclusion, and do you support it being taught in pre-K through 12th grade?
The answer to the question is no. As far as teaching it in our public schools, and the Mifflin County School District has already addressed that. We passed a resolution a number of months ago addressing the fact that we would not be teaching critical race theory in our schools in Mifflin County. As far as my understanding and definition of critical race theory, I don't know if you can find two people that can agree on that. As far as the third part of that question was what, sir?
There was only two parts of it. Is what was your understanding of it, and are you in favor of it being taught in pre-K through 12th grade?
Well, as far as equity and diversity, that was the third part. We have a legal and moral obligation to educate every child that walks through our doors.
My understanding of critical race theory is that you teach one race that they're more important than another. And I do not agree with it being taught. And yes, they did agree. The current board, they have a resolution right now. But my understanding is that the wording is not strong enough because if the teachers, if some of the teachers want it to be taught, they can teach it without. They can sneak it in if they, as long as they don't use critical race theory or CRT, they can sneak it in. So I think it needs to be stronger and make sure that it's not absolutely in no way being taught whatsoever. There's SEL, which is social and emotional learning, and that is being taught here. And that is one form of critical race theory. So we need to make sure absolutely in no way, shape, or form is being taught in this district.
From my understanding of CRT, but I understand my own personal beliefs that I absolutely do not believe that it is going to be taught in our schools. I was on the board when we brought the resolution up, and I pushed hard myself that I did not think the CRT was applicable to our school. Also, the diversity and equity and inclusion, I don't agree with that also. I believe that the teachers do have the authority and the opportunity to teach, but I also think we should be able to keep an eye on them that if they get out of hand and start teaching things that we as a board feel it's inappropriate, then we need to take care of that and see what we can do about it. There's other things coming up in schools that I don't agree with. I don't agree with sexual indoctrination and grade levels and all this other stuff. My stand is no CRT, no inclusion, equity, or diversion. Thank you.
My understanding of CRT is that it's a college-level course, that it's a theory course that connects racism to society as a whole and different systems. That said, I agree, I do not think that belongs in K through 12. However, as far as diversity, equity, and inclusion goes, as Mr. Stiers mentioned, everyone that walks through the doors has a right to an education, and every child that comes into the schools should feel like they belong. They should feel included. It has not just with race, but with their abilities, with disabilities, religion. I mean, I know religion's not in the schools, but there's a variety of religions, and everyone that walks through the door should feel included. So I do support diversity, equity, and inclusion programs because I think all of our children should feel safe in the schools and welcomed in the schools.
I hate to be critical of critical race theory, but I will be. I don't approve of it either. Again, Lori Haynes, and I have my viewpoints on that. I don't think it's appropriate curriculum to be taught. Critical race theory is a big talking point right now, and we can read a lot of articles on it. I'm sure many of us each have our own individual degrees and viewpoints on it. I think that I would sum up diversity, equity, and inclusion is again terms that I hear within my job as the executive director for Center County Housing over in Center County, and it seems like everybody has a committee and everybody wants you to believe that there's something wrong. Whatever happened to kindness and goodness and connections with each other and belonging within a group and recognizing other human beings? I think it's basically just being a gentle spirit and one that is loving, and we need more of that. So, thank you.
Critical race theory started actually in 1970 at Harvard. It is a high-level graduate course. It has no merit in the high school level or K through 12. So no, it should not be taught anywhere K through 12. But again, it wasn't meant to be. So I don't really know a whole lot about it other than where it started, and I don't know how it came into existence today or what people have been talking about it. It has never been taught in Mifflin County School District. I do believe our social studies teachers need to be able to teach social studies. With diversity, again, I agree with Mr. Stiers and Ms. Laub that our students, all students need to feel safe when they walk through these doors. They need to feel accepted. And I was a social emotional teacher that had to do with not diversity, it had to do with students who had emotional problems. Thank you.
I don't really know much about CRT because every time I look it up, there's different definitions, although what I do know is that I believe it is a college course. Like Mr. Shearer said, I think it's in a law program actually. So it does not belong in K through 12, which is why our current board voted that it won't be. But parents do need to pay attention to what is being taught to our children. Our children come here to be educated. Every child should feel welcome when they walk in through the doors. I'm a little confused why we have to have programs on it. We should just know, as educators and administrators, let's go kids, come in, we love you, let's learn, let's have fun, let's have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, critical race theory. Critical race theory, to me, all the information that I gathered is racist. That's what that is. And I've said this, a couple of the school board members did hear me say this purposely at board meetings, curriculum. Where's curriculum come from? Well, it comes from the state. Do the teachers have any right or obligation to add to the curriculum that comes from the state? And the answer is always yes. That's where it creeps in. It creeps into our schools. It has already creeped into our schools. That's why we banned it. To me, it's racist. That's what they're teaching. And personally, I don't even think it should be in college. It's a course on racism is what it is. Equity, diversity. Diversity is a two-way street. I've argued with some other board members about this. Well, you need to accept what they're thinking, what they're doing. Okay, but then they won't accept the other person. Well, I don't agree with that. So that's the back and forth with critical race theory and equity and diversity. None of it should be a Mifflin County School District.
Next question, hot topic. Do you favor or oppose the impending sports complex?
I definitely think that we need something here. Our athletes need an upgrade. I am not in favor of the cost of it, because it was told that it was going to be one price, I forget the exact price, it was $4 million, and now it's $15 million. If they can get the donations that they need, and it does not increase our taxes, fine. I'm not okay with the tax increase to pay for it. I'm not okay with the school district paying for it or the school board paying for it. If we can get all the donations needed, or fundraisers, or whatever, fine. But I'm really having a hard time with that price, when I think that money could be used for our education and our teachers, and our teachers could have gotten a raise, or that money could have been put elsewhere. So yes, I'm for it, because I have students that are athletes, and I think they deserve it.
Okay. I'm one of the very few that voted no. It was in the paper. I do believe that our student athletes do need something, but I can't agree with $15.5 million. We have $3 million from the state, $4.5 million was dedicated by the school district, and the people that are going to raise money said they can get $3 million. Well, that's $10.5 million, and the price tag will be $15.5. I'm not going to put the burden on these taxpayers here to come up with the other $4.5 million to do this. We come up with some suggestions out of the IV school, up at the middle school, and they just shot us down. They wanted it in front of the school. They push, that's where they want it. Fine. If they want to put one in front of the school and we can use the money we have, fine. Let's do it, but let's do one complete field. None of these two fields with no bathrooms and half, whatever you want to call it. But if you're going to do something, let's do it right. Let's do it well within our budget and don't burden the taxpayers on something that 90% of them don't want. Thank you.
I'll just start by saying I do agree with pretty much everything Paula Dixon just said. However, I think as a community like this, a small community, we need to come together. If we can agree our children need a complex, if we can agree we don't want to see our taxes raised, if we can agree that taxes should go to teacher salaries and better education and better curriculum, then we as a community should come together, and anyone who has background in fundraising should be out there looking for grants and looking for any sort of support to help fund that complex. And that's one of the things I would do if elected to the board, would be to work on community partnerships. I think in a small town, small county like this, small businesses and community members working together with the school district is very important. I've heard people tell me about the golden days of Lewistown, and the same people complain about how it's gone downhill. And there's plenty of people that don't have kids anymore in this community, but don't like seeing it fall further down. So we need to come together.
Lori Haynes, I feel the sports stadium complex was definitely a topic that was going to come up. I will speak from some of my long ago experiences when I was a band member at Lewistown Area Senior High School, and I know that the newspaper article said that it would help the band as well to be able to hold cavalcade of bands or band competitions. I just go back to thinking how each and every one of us probably in this room has been involved in a sport some way, somehow, in some shape or form. How could you deny that for your students that are here currently, who grow as a team, who learn great skills and camaraderie? I don't want to spend a big $15.5 million price tag, but I think Mitchell Field has been around for a very long time, so thank you.
As a former, I had children go to Mifflin County High School and Mifflin County School District, and I do believe we need a new field. If used properly, as Ms. Haynes said, we can use a lot of revenue coming from the new field. We can have sports complex used for regions and districts, and money will come into the community that way. When they built this high school, we have renovated all of our buildings, and we can be proud of our buildings. We've had students come in here. I used to be a game manager for different things, and other school districts love our buildings, and we can be proud of it. We need to have an upgrade to our sports complex.
I've been attending the school board meeting since the proposal was made. And the proposal was $4 million in fundraising with the district matching that. That's $8 million, $3 million grant. That's $11 million. We're now up to 15.050, and that does not include the design costs and engineering costs, which is another like $300,000, $400,000. I come from a school where our sports teams make it to states more often than not. Back in my day when I went to high school, I would love nothing more for our kids to have a beautiful sports facility. However, we have got to get away from having champagne taste with beer pockets, and we have to be smart about how we spend our money, and we have to talk through these things longer and in more detail. And we need more of the public to show up and give us their feedback and thoughts. Thank you.
I'm a yes on the sports complex, and I'll tell you why. To me, it's kind of now or never. If it does not happen this round, can't see it happening. Not only will it upgrade the school, upgrade the facilities, I think more kids will be involved. The 15 mil, not real keen on that, but I think we should proceed with it, like the practice field lights. Well, we're taking them lights out. That's $900,000. So if you start picking at it, we can get where we need to be. And I'm like, Fred, at the front, in front of the school, there's the stadium. And then kind of see what happens. It is now or never. And another thing too, that no one has mentioned, these facilities will also be used for the public. The public will have access to this, so everyone else will have access to these fields and stuff too. So to me, it's a now or never. It almost has to go or it won't go. Thank you.
Yes, I'm in favor of the athletic facilities project. I came here in 1988, 35 years ago, and at that time, I was shown blueprints of a new field house and practice facility for Lewistown football. That was 35 years ago, and not one shovel of dirt has been moved. I agree with what has just been said. This is the best opportunity we are ever going to have to pull this off. We got to keep in mind that when we build these facilities, we need to make sure that we are addressing Title IX issues. That if we upgrade our baseball team or our baseball field, we need to make sure that we've upgraded our softball field with the exact same specifications. Historically, Mifflin County has not taken care of their facilities, and it caused us problems a couple of years ago when we had to close buildings, furlough teachers. We have to long-range plan. We are now at that point, and it's now or never. Our community deserves these facilities, and our students deserve them. Thank you.
Hello, okay. Again, my name is Rose Schultz. This is my third time actually running for school board. Unfortunately, I lost my last 2 runs. But where I come from, we don't quit. We keep getting up and we keep moving forward and we keep pushing. 9 years ago, I made friends with a mom and I was complaining that we didn't have a science fair. And so here I was, starting a science fair and a talent show at Indian Valley Elementary. Science fair is now the STEAM fair, and other schools have got on board, I believe Strode's Mills and LIS. And I'm very proud of that because our kids deserve to have opportunities to present themselves and showcase their talents and academics. I have a passion for serving my community and volunteering. I've been volunteering for 30 years. I started volunteering for various children's organizations when I was 18 and got my first job straight out of high school at a Fortune 100 company, which I had a 20-year career with. I worked 3 years here as a bookkeeper for a local real estate company before going back into my industry, which I've been in now for 7 years, and I represent independent theater owners across 25 states. I just want our kids to have a quality education. I want them to be safe while they're in school. I want them to read. We should all want our kids to be able to read on grade level. And I will not ever stop fighting or running for this position because a parent perspective is an important one, and I think it's needed at the table. I humbly ask for your support and vote on May 16th. Thank you.
Diane Shear. Public schools are the heart and the soul of the community. We need high-quality schools, coupled with fiscal responsibility, have safe schools that allow us to attract new businesses and families and retain the best medical professionals in the community. I'm married 40 years to my husband, who's a native of Lewistown. He was also a devoted teacher, woodshop teacher, and a coach in Mifflin County. We raised 5 kids here, all graduated from Mifflin County with great education. We've had kids in every aspect of the district, and they all went on to have their own successful careers. The only problem is a lot of our students don't come back here because there's not enough opportunity. We need to create positions. We need to get businesses in here to get our students back here.
During the 39 years of teaching in Mifflin County School District, I was a class advisor, a softball coach, a powder puff organizer, prom advisor, and a drama club advisor. I brought back musicals with the help of others. We brought back musicals to Mifflin County, and I'm very proud of it. It's become something that the community looks forward to, and it showcases the talents of our many, many students. And I am so proud that I could be a part of that. I served as the president of the Association of Mifflin County Educators for many years. I worked with teachers, support staff in all buildings. I've worked with administrators on all grade levels, including the academy. I worked hard to save the arts back when the arts were almost canceled. And I worked in settings with school boards, negotiated contracts. I am versed in school law, in PDE code, school code, applications of special education and healthcare programs. When COVID hit, would not allow seniors to graduate, I started the program where we gave every student that was graduating a yard sign, and we put together a special drive-through thing. I do respect my position, and I ask for your support come May 16th. Thank you very much.
I'm asking you for your support on May 16th. Vote Lori K. Haynes. I'm on ballot position number 8 on the Republican ballot. If you're so inclined, I guess you can write me in on the Democratic side, but I certainly know that this job and this role comes with a lot of responsibility. I've always considered myself a very dependable, responsible, competent person. I will tell you that I was born here in Lewistown. I went to school here and was educated and graduated from Lewistown High School. I did move out of the area for my career for some time while I got a lot of experience down in Lancaster City, working for the housing authority down there. My children both graduated from public school district as well at Penn Manor School District in Lancaster County. They have gone on to successful careers. One is a doctor of education, and the other one works for Target in the upper management and human resources. So I feel like I was a success as a parent as well. It's a $94 million budget that you'll be putting into my hands or any of these other members, candidates who are running to be a member. That's a lot of money. We're expected to do the best we can with that large budget, and I intend to try my best with my experience as an accountant, with my experience as a business leader, as an executive director of a nonprofit. There are 4,500 students, give or take, and 717 employees, give or take, and I'm here to do the work for them. I think that we're always in the relentless pursuit of excellence, and I think we want to all agree that we want ready, responsible, respectful, and safe students when the day is all done and they get their cap and gown at graduation. So please vote for Lori K. Haynes, and I certainly do appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Donica Law, and I wanted to start off by thanking anyone out there in the audience and anyone that ends up watching this broadcast. Thank you for circulating my petition. I will be on both ballots, and unlike some of the people up here, I was not born here. I was born in the Panama Canal Zone. I'm the daughter of 2 Air Force veterans, and so, but my father is from here, and generations before him were born and raised here. And my family, like I said earlier, we moved here when I was 12 years old in 7th grade. Up until then, I was educated in a public school district in Texas. My entire elementary into middle school was in Texas. And I moved here in 7th grade, and like I said, I was a graduate, 97 graduate of Indian Valley, and I've seen a lot of things change since I graduated. One of the things that I think bothers me a little bit more than it should is the lack of foreign languages for children. I was able to take a foreign language in, I think, 7th or 8th grade back then, definitely by 8th grade. And now it's my understanding children can't even take a foreign language if they choose until they're in 8th or 9th grade. And we live in a global economy. I think knowing at least one other language is important to anyone who plans to travel or work outside of this area. I think we should all want to raise children that are well educated in this area. I did say that I lived here off and on for 30 years. Roughly 13 years of that was spent working and living outside of the area, but I did come back here, and I came back here because my family's here. And as a resident of Mifflin County, I want Mifflin County to be a better place. I want our children to be prepared to go out into the world if they so choose, but also want to come back here and continue to improve on our community. The red light's on, so I'll stop.
Thank you. I want to say I did not know that I had so much in common with Danica. I was born in Germany of Air Force parents, and I was educated all over the United States, Montana, Idaho, Arkansas. So I have some good experiences in the education system. Also, I retired from the New Holland plant in Belleville in 2018. After that, after retiring, I took a job at the Mifflin County Career and Technology Center at that time as a precision machining teacher. I taught there for 10 years. I retired. After I retired from there, I decided I wanted to keep my feet in the door. I wanted to be part of the education system, so I decided to run for school board, and I was elected. Thank you for electing me 4 years ago. I appreciate if we could do it again. Also, I sub at the vocational school. I also volunteer at the vocational school. I'm very well involved. As I said, I'm sitting on the board now. I'm the president of the board. I'm also sitting on the operating committee at the vocational school. I'm also vice president over there. I just think that we need to keep involved. I have visited most of all our schools. I have visited with our principals or vice principals. I have talked to our students. I have talked to our teachers, and we are getting things done. It may not look that way, but we are. Some days things that happen behind the scenes just aren't seen that easily by the public, but we are working hard, and I do appreciate everything that you have done tonight by coming out and listening to all of us up here. We appreciate it, and I'm looking for your vote and appreciate it on May the 16th. Thank you very much.
I'm Paula Dixon, and truth be told, it was never my plan to run for the school board. However, over the past couple of years, I saw that there's a need for conservative Christian Republicans on our board. I'm the mother of 3 children, all who attend the school within this district, and I wanted to ensure that all the steps are explored and taken to give our children the very best public education. Currently, no parents sit on the Mifflin County School Board. I believe that as a parent, I can provide the best insight as I have the most recent direct and relative experience. I started to attend school board meetings in 2021 during the pandemic and the masking mandate. I stood with other parents in our community to protect our children and their teachers and administrators' freedoms and choice to remain mask-free. I continued to stand for our children's education when they were pushed behind electronics classrooms for instructions. I believe we have the ability to I believe that we have the ability to provide the highest quality education in our district with the right leadership, guidance, and support from the school board members. Like all process, education begins with the basics, the foundation, if you will. We need to continue to build year after year upon framework that is developed through education, not indoctrination. I just want to make sure that our children are protected. Mifflin County is a special place to me. We have something very special here. And I just want to make sure that we protect that and preserve that here. Every child and teacher is special. There's no one better than another. And I think that the golden rule would apply here. If we teach our children, like I tell my children every day, that if you treat others the way you want to be treated, everybody would just get along so much better. Thank you.
In 2015, 8 years ago, I stood up here and voiced my major concerns with public education in Pennsylvania at that time, and they were as follows. Number one, the unconstitutional and inadequate state funding. Two, the fact that a fair funding formula does not exist. And three, cyber charter schools were financially suffocating public schools throughout the Commonwealth. And today, unfortunately, none of that has changed. With the exception that my list of concerns has grown a little longer. As I said earlier, I now have to add the increase in school shootings and the continuous efforts to keep our children safe. The teacher shortages, substitute teacher shortages, and bus driver shortages. The lack of support for students that fell behind academically during the pandemic. I said earlier in a question that I oppose CRT in our public schools. But I support the teaching of U.S. history. And that includes slavery, the civil rights, and Native American history, so that our future leaders can move our country forward in a civilized fashion. In conclusion, I have a reasonably extensive and experiential background in public education. But what I don't have is all the answers. But I know this. The future of Mifflin County's development and growth is sitting in our classrooms today. We need to make sure that we as school board members keep our children at the forefront of our decision making at all times. In my opinion, public education is not just to develop our children for the next level, be it technical training, college, the workforce, or the military. We as a community have an obligation to promote and develop citizenship. We as a community have an obligation to support that as a public good. I would appreciate your vote in the upcoming election. Thank you.
Okay, to finish up, Mifflin County is a great county. Mifflin County School District is a great school district. I'm in a number of youth programs, Burn Bulldog Special Needs, which it's an organization that has grown throughout the year. We probably have 32 to 40 special need kids actually playing football. Some are in wheelchairs. It's all for fun. We play area businesses and stuff. It's like flag football, it's not contact or anything. I'm also involved in the youth football for Burn Bulldogs, youth football and cheer, Burn Bulldog girls softball, just about any sport we have there. And I enjoy that too, but that's a feeder program for Mifflin County schools just to go up through. I think they should be out and about. But again, we're in troubling times. Mifflin County is a poor county. I wish we could have everything that everyone wanted here, including me, the best of the best and stuff. It's just not the case. So, like I say, our budget, $95 million, busing alone is $5 million a year. Probably more than that now. That was back a number of years ago. That is a lot of money. So we do have to make hard choices. Curriculum again, I think you all know how I feel about curriculum. CRT, how it does creep in. It's just not good for this county. For this county to thrive, we all gotta work together and play together and just do the best we can. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the candidates for coming out tonight, all of them. And as these candidates leave the stage, would you show your appreciation for all the candidates that were here tonight and answering questions. You know, it's been said that only half the people that could vote are registered to vote, and only half of those who are registered do vote. So that means 25% of the people make the decisions that will affect us. These local elections affect us on a more day-to-day basis than most people realize. This election this spring, most if not all of these races, at least locally, could be decided on May 16th. We may not have a general election, it's more than a rubber stamp for those offices. So this is very important to get out and vote on May 16th. You have the opportunity to talk to some of these candidates afterwards here when we're having refreshment time. On behalf of the Mifflin County Farm Bureau, I want to thank you for coming out and participating tonight. Thank you.